The Democratic Party's agenda is in trouble. In fact, to say it's in trouble is actually a gross understatement at this point. Yesterday, specifically, was a hell of a day for the Democratic Party's agenda. First and foremost, we had the Freedom to Vote Act fail to advance in the Senate by a vote of 51 to 49. We could not break the filibuster to bring the bill to a vote, and so Chuck Schumer votes with Republicans to not end the filibuster. He says, because it gives him the chance to bring it up again. Okay, whatever. Like, nothing matters and nothing makes sense anymore because everything is so damn stupid. That's the point I'm at right now. And I'm at that point not just with the Republicans, with the Democrats as well. This is absolute, utter insanity. This Right to Vote Act would have solved a lot of the problems that Republicans are putting into law across the country. Here's just a small list. This is from Sahil Kapoor. Election Day would become a national holiday. Automatic and same-day voter registration, 2 weeks of early voting. Anyone can vote by mail. Limits on thinning the voter rolls. Insulate election officials, who are, by the way, still getting death threats from crazed Trump supporters. New redistricting rules to make the process fair, because we've already had reports of both Republicans, in Texas obviously, and Democrats up north basically gerrymandering. And we would be able to solve that with this legislation to a degree. Disclose honest ads acts, which means you'd have to know who's paying for what on your TV. It would give the FEC more power to enforce their laws, which we have seen candidate after candidate and politician after politician just this year violate FEC rules and not have any consequences whatsoever. And of course, ballot paper trail rule. So, you'd have receipts. But it's not just the Right to Vote Act that failed yesterday. Joe Manchin has made it clear that under no circumstances is he going to support the climate proposals that are a part of the Build Back Better Act. Also yesterday, it was announced that the Universal Community College provision was removed. Oh, we still get, pre-K and, that's good. Childcare, that's really good. But that's about the only good thing left in this legislation. Drug pricing is likely dead. Medicare expansion could also be dead. Everything the Democrats came to office promising us, some kind of student loan debt relief, some kind of universal college plan, drug price negotiation, a Green New Deal, the Voting Rights Act, all of it is dead, folks. And it's dead because of a handful of corporatists pretending that they're still actually Democrats. And every time we get new news about the negotiations, the bill comes out worse. We're going down. $3.5 trillion already was the compromise. But now Biden's saying maybe the bill's going to be $1.5 trillion. Definitely under $2 trillion. This isn't enough. And I don't even care about the ramifications that it's going to have on the 2022 midterms at this point. That doesn't bother me at all right now. You deserve to lose. What I'm worried about is the fact that we're not going to have a habitable planet if we continue kicking the can down the road on climate change. We have been doing that for decades now, pretending that we've got more time than we actually have. And here we had the opportunity to take real, meaningful action. And it's dead because Joe Manchin loves his coal money so much. He's gotten more than $1 million in dividends from coal companies that he's invested in just the last 2 years. $1 million friggin' dollars. And that $1 million is why we don't get action on climate change. Unbelievable. Same thing with drug price reform. Same thing with Medicare expansion. Those lobbies are spending a ton of money. They're giving a lot of direct donations to Kyrsten Sinema, Manchin, and a couple others. And so we don't get that either. We get nothing. We get nothing. People are struggling. People can't make ends meet. People can't get by. People are trapped in shitty lives right now. And this piece of legislation, before these corporatists got to it, could have changed all of that. And now, it won't. If you can't get enough Ring of Fire, we encourage everyone to subscribe to our channel for fresh video content 7 days a week. And for even more from me, you can follow me on all social media outlets, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Fair and Balanced.